One artist recently used 4 million recycled plastic bottles to create a 13,000 ping mosaic of Vincent van Gogh's painting, The Starry Night, in Geelong's Nuan Nuan district. The magnificent scene has already attracted many visitors. However, during the production of this work, the artist encountered many difficulties, including finding enough fully intact plastic bottles. For this week's Sunday In-Depth report, we show you the challenges and the passion that went into the creation of this work of art.
Setting up a tripod and taking out a camera is the start of a day's work.
My specialty is taking time-lapse photography. Originally, I want to record the whole act of creation of these artworks.
Today, this Taiwanese time-lapse expert, Chen Zhitong, is in Geelong's Nuan Nuan. He seems to be recording what appears to be a pile of garbage. Few are prepared for what will later unfold. The sculptor Wang Junwei is busy directing a bundle of plastic bottles to be installed.
This is
Van Gogh's The Starry Night, which is being used as a blueprint. We hope to transform this image with recycled plastic bottles, creating these lines and colors.
Recycling PET bottles proved to be a major challenge, as his artwork would cover a 13,000 ping area, which is roughly 4.3 hectares. Workers tie bottles to a net according to the colors of each individual area. Each net is 3.3 square meters in size and can contain 250 bottles, which must be tied into place.
We had originally thought to affix each bottle to the ground, but we later found that the grass slope is very steep, so after many experiments we decided to use the net. We attached the PET bottles to the net and then put it into place. Covering 13,000 pings led us to estimate that we would need 1 million bottles, but because it was quite a steep slope, we ended up using 4 million bottles.
The landscape art team had originally thought that it would be easy to collect 4 million bottles, as Taiwan annually goes through 4.5 billion bottles each year. However, many of these bottles are being crushed during the recycling process, which posed a big problem for this art team.
PET bottles are frequently compressed and turned into a block, which ruins their fundamental shape as a bottle. On the first day when I learned this, I turned to my wife and said, "Well, let's go home. We don't want to do this. What can we do?"
Later, we worked with others to collect these bottles, which turned out to be quite moving. Many students in southern and central areas would even use a courier to send over these bottles, and some wanted to sponsor the event. The post office delivered a box with a few hundred new Taiwan dollars and 10 recycled PET bottles.
While they solved the temporary crisis when it came to procuring plastic bottles, another issue would soon arise. The blueprint for this creation is The Starry Night by post-impressionist painter Van Gogh. This work was done just 1 year before his death. As he was in a very depressed mood, he used the blue color to vent his feelings. Unfortunately, this art team couldn't find enough PET bottles with a blue label.
We originally thought there should be a lot of PET bottles with blue labels, but this turned out to be wrong, as many sports drinks actually have a green label, making it the most common bottle. This turned out to be a microcosm of our problem, as we ended up with many bottles based upon what people like to drink. To us, this proved to be very interesting.
According to a survey by the Taiwan Beverage Industry Association, Taiwanese people annually consume 1.5 billion PET bottles. Of this amount, green tea accounts for 200 million bottles, as most recycling areas have many PET bottles with green labels. In order to solve the problem of the lack of PET bottles with a blue label, the art team visited a Tsuji recycling station, which was willing to temporarily lend PET bottles to be part of this artwork.
Tsuji really moved us. They provided completely free of charge nearly 800,000 PET bottles. Without this support, we couldn't do this project.
In order to finish the project on time, the group had to redouble their efforts to work hard. Through the hard work of this staff, Van Gogh's stars appeared in the grass.
现在智慧型手机可以放大来观看的时候，
Now with smartphones, people can view these images. When it's enlarged, it turns out to suddenly be PET bottles. Some people may have never thought about this, as what they once saw as garbage is now something that makes them happy. This is a totally different experience. I feel that it is very interesting and could even excite some people, as it makes a deep impression on them and changes the way that they may think.
Van Gogh lived for less than 40 years, though he has left future generations his brilliant paintings, such as The Starry Night. And in Taiwan, contemporary artists have recreated his inspirational work with ordinary PET bottles. This gives his work a larger audience and reminds viewers about the brilliance of Van Gogh the painter.